Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, we are going to talk about this article that came out. U.S. new home sales surged to highest level since May 2023.
This is going to be a great video. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and you're going to love it. Keep going.
Okay, one of the reasons you're going to like the video is we just practiced because we literally filmed the whole video, and then we realized that it never recorded. So we have to do that. We're doing the whole thing again.
Somebody
but I
didn't push
think
the
this
button.
time it's going to be better.
Somebody didn't push the button.
I pushed the button. Okay. All right. So let's start with the first part of the article. Now, what's interesting about this before we get started is the Crash Bros have painted this ugly picture with new homes, and we're going to dispel that because we actually have the data. We're going to explain what it means. Crash Bros either don't know what it means or they're making it up. So anyway, here we go. This is
Crash Bros do know what it means, and they're just baiting people for clicks.
Okay. Bloomberg new home sales in the U.S. bounced back to the highest level since May 2023 as buyers took advantage of lower mortgage rates and more listings to choose from. Now, this is new home sales. Mm-hmm. Okay. Juana, why would lower mortgage rates, why would people even care about that? Why wouldn't they wait till mortgage rates gets back to 2 or 3%? Like, why buy now when you could just wait until mortgage rates go back to 2 or 3%?
Well, because people have been waiting. They've been waiting for quite some time.
2.5 years.
And they've been bunking together. We've had multi-generational living, maybe staying with roommates longer than you wanted. So people have been waiting for a long time. And people are smart. And by what I mean by that is people understand that the home that they have been waiting for, when it comes on the market, it makes sense to just bite the bullet and buy the home because that home doesn't come along very often. So buy the home and then deal with the interest rate. Because remember, interest rates are about 6.5 right now. They're projected to go down lower. So by securing the home that you want now, you're able to refinance down the road versus hoping that the stars align and the right home comes along when the interest rates are at the very bottom and everything else aligns for you. It just makes sense to, if you find the home and you're in a good position to purchase a home, just go for it.
They want the Goldilocks situation. Okay. Yes. Contract signings on new single-family homes increased 10.6% last month to a 739,000 annual rate. That's the annual rate. That means that the number, and then this is just contract signings. We're going to talk about that because there's 3 different things in here, reflecting gains in all 4 major regions. We have the West, mm-hmm. we have the South, mm-hmm. we have the Northeast, and we have the Midwest.
Right.
Didn't the Crash Bros tell us like literally the South was crashing, like Texas and Florida were crashing? But here we have more people buying new homes than we did a year ago or even last month.
Well, the top Crash Bro out there is touting that the South is underwater. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The pace beat all estimates in a Bloomberg survey of economists. So people have decided to take advantage of these interest rates. Here they are. Mortgage rates have dipped to 6.5% from a 2024 peak of nearly 7.3% in April. April was what? 4 or 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. This is the end of August. And they're expected to fall further as the Federal Reserve gets ready to begin lowering interest rates next month. Chairman Jerome Powell said that the time has come to cut rates. Juana, if I knew for sure, let's say that we have perfect information and we knew that 6.5% was going to be the lowest interest rates ever get for the next 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I told you that, and you were going to buy a house, you'd probably say, I'm just going to buy the house. I'm going to capture the lowest rate I can get because I'm never going to get a lower rate, right?
Right.
Okay. Let's say, though, that you bought a house today. It was $400,000, and you had a 6.5% rate on it. And in 3 years, that house is worth $500,000, but interest rates are 4%. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, darn it, I should have waited 3 more years, bought the house a little more, $500,000, but only 3%. Would you be better off to buy it today at $400,000 at 6.5%, or wait 3 years, pay $500,000, and get a 3% loan?
So
without knowing the numbers.
You only get to choose the price that you pay for the home when you buy the home. The interest rate will vary over time depending on what's happening in the market. You can refinance, but the purchase price remains solid. So to me, spending $100,000 more down the road doesn't make sense for a number of reasons. First of all, it's $100,000 more than it is today. Second of all, even with inflation, the enjoyment of the home is important to me. That maybe the tax write-offs are important to me. Not throwing away, certainly probably pretty close to $100,000 in rent money between now and then, if not more. Then that doesn't make sense either. So there are
you'd be upside down 200,000.
Right.
What about refinance? You could just refinance your if in 3 years mortgage rates are 4%, then refi your $400,000 loan to which is more monthly payment? A $500,000 house at 4% or a $400,000 house at 4%? Which is a bigger payment?
Let me think. Same interest rate,
yes,
but $100,000 difference?
Yes.
Well, obviously, the less expensive house with the same interest rate.
Okay, here we go. Let's move on. You can always refi. That's the point. Well, inventory slowly creeping up in the real estate market as some homeowners part ways with their pandemic-era low mortgage rates. That supply is still historically low and keeping homes expensive. The median price of previously owned homes set a record last month for any July, going back 2 decades, according to separate data out Thursday. Record for any July. Mm-hmm. When we see inventory increasing, first of all, we're coming off record low inventory. And second, that happens every year at this time, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, this is the big one. This is the one with the crash bros. I'm going to put this chart up here. This is the monthly supply of new homes in the United States. Okay, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
If you look all the way up there, it says observation July 2024 because it takes a month to get the data. So we'll get, and you can see this was just updated a couple days ago, August 23rd, 2024. So we get the August data here, and it'll be about this. It'll be pretty close to 7.5. So this is what the crash bro did. The crash bro said, wait, there's 7.5 months supply of new houses. So there's like 2 months supply of resale houses. There's 7.5 months of new homes. There's like 9.5 months of homes supply. We have this huge number of supply of homes. Oh my gosh, it's going to crash the housing market. Okay, Juana, first of all, when you look at this chart, 7.5, we're at about in the average of where we've been. This chart goes back to the early 60s, okay? Long before you were born.
Much before I was born.
Much. Decades before you were born. And nothing on this chart shows that we are at a historic point that is really terrible. But here's the funny thing. That 7.5 does not mean months of supplies of completed, finished, but they just don't have a buyer yet, right? Mm-hmm. That's not what that means. No. Okay, I'm going to read. This is actually from the chart. The month supply is the ratio of new houses for sale to new houses sold. Okay? New houses for sale to new houses sold. A sold house is when it's closed. That's when it's sold. When an agent comes and puts the sold on your thing because you accept an offer, the house isn't sold, right? Juana, when does a new home become for sale? Do they build the house completely and then go, okay, guys, it's for sale?
No. So new home construction is a whole different animal, right? So new home construction, the process actually starts all the way back at the lot. So when the new home development will take money for a lot, that's when the new home process starts, right? That's when you put down money and the whole thing starts. So anywhere along that line, anywhere from the first part where you put down money and it's just a dirt lot, or maybe it's just a dot, right, on their map in the sales office. So all the way from there, all the way to completion. So you've got this whole big span. And how long does it take to complete a home? Well, it depends on the home, it depends on the market, depends on where you are. So of course in the Northeast it might take longer because they've got winter coming up and it might take them longer. In the Southwest, maybe homes go up a little bit faster because we don't have as much weather to deal with. And then of course you're dealing with the type of home, right? Is it a regular cookie cutter home that maybe takes 6 months to build, which is pretty much the average for cookie cutter homes? Or is it more elaborate? Maybe that might take 18 months, 2 years to build. And also depending on where it is, they may not even break ground. They may not even start for 12, 18 months, but they're taking money here on the front end, and maybe they've got a completion date of like 2 years or something like that. So it's a very it's kind of a sliding scale of the schedule of between when they take your money and when ownership changes hands, because that's what close means. It means that ownership has changed hands.
What this 7.5 means is if they didn't add any more new lots for sale and they just took the existing number of homes that are in any stage of for sale, meaning that they're a dirt lot or they're being built or whatever, versus the number of homes that closed last month, that in 7.5 months, all new homes would be gone. You wouldn't be able to buy a new home.
Right. So what that means, a contract, right? So new homes have this thing called contract, and that's what that means. It takes 7.5 months to absorb all these homes.
Okay, here's the other thing. One, I'm a new home builder. Banana homes, okay? You can tell our house because the chimney is banana shaped. And
there are monkeys.
And there are monkeys on the house, hanging on the windows. And I complete, let's say I'm under contract and I'm a couple weeks out from completing, and the buyer goes, oh shoot, my job just changed, I can't afford the house. You can just keep my AMD, whatever it is, I'm not coming, sorry, I'm out of here, and he leaves. You finish the house, it's done. You could, in theory, turn it over to somebody, right? You don't have any backup offers, you don't have anything yet. The house is done, it's ready to go. What do you do to that house? Like, how do you now get that house sold? Do you just wait for somebody to walk into the sales office and go, you got any completed homes already?
So first of all, a lot of times new home builders do have backup people, right?
Well, let's say they don't have any backup people.
But I'm just saying, a lot of times they do. But if they don't have any backup people, then they'll go ahead and put the home in the MLS, so that
the MLS?
Right. So it's publicly available. And the new homes that go in the MLS are not necessarily completed homes. They are in some stage of being completed. They don't put, for example, just the lot in the MLS, but they will put a home that is in some stage of being completed. Usually these homes that fall out at the last minute, which means within the 30 days of being completed, because the buyer didn't qualify for financing.
Guys, there are 3,000 homes for sale in Las Vegas, right? 3,001, right? Trust me, if there were thousands of completed homes in Las Vegas that are sitting there with no buyers, they would be in the MLS. They're not. If there are, there's probably 10 or 20. We should pull the stats and just see how many homes in Las Vegas are in the MLS listed as a new home sale. And probably it's not going to be very many. The problem is, like Juan has said, it could say new home sale, but it could say estimated completion date October of 2024.
Right. Yeah, so that's very typical.
So it's not really like it's sitting there, nobody wants the house or anything like that. It's already included. This idea that there's like 9 or 10 months of supply of homes because the new homes are flooding the market at a faster rate than people could absorb them. Do new home builders just love overbuilding homes and having those homes just sit there and not sell? Is that their favorite thing or second favorite thing?
It is not, and they also don't do that. They have not done that in a very long time. They're actually very efficient. They watch the market very closely. These metrics are something that they go over literally every single week at their sales meetings. So it's really important for them. And remember, new home builders are this is the zenith of their profit. They've never been more profitable because they've gotten very good at this.
Yeah, they're not overbuilding.
No.
Whatever crash bro trash you're watching, it's all fake. They're literally deceiving you. When they say 7.5 months supply of new homes, they immediately are like, they'll take that number, multiply it times 700,000 and go, oh my God, there's all these homes. They're not selling. They're just sitting there. They're going to crash. The prices are getting ready to collapse, yada, yada, yada. And it's completely fake. They're not out there. We're going to build 600 to 700,000 houses in the next 12 months in the U.S. There's 140 million existing homes. About 125,000 of those will be destroyed. And these new homes these new homes include any new permit for a single family home, include rebuilding your house, okay? There's 363 million people in the US, and we added about 11 million people to population in the last 3 years. And we're going to build, 600,000 houses a year. That is not enough to meet demand. We have way, way, way too few single family homes. And if interest rates go any more below if they go below 6%, I predict it's going to get pretty chaotic here pretty fast.
Right. So remember, we're just talking about single family homes. We're not talking about apartments and that sort of thing. So this is just kind of to keep in mind. And you can see how enthusiastic he is, and he's not even caffeinated, people. Can you
Oh my
believe
God.
it?
No, guys, I don't do caffeine. And it's like about 11 o'clock at night. But here's the thing. The Fed started raising interest rates about 30 months ago. Okay? You ready for this? This is the longest time period ever which the Fed has raised rates before they've had a decline. Ever. And what have home prices done the last 2.5 years?
They've gone up.
Yeah, remember what we just told you? July was the highest ever since home prices have recorded.
Right.
So if that didn't crash the housing market, then the extremely efficient new home builders are not going to crash the housing market. Bottom line is we need to build more new homes, and we're not going to. We're just going to build enough to make the builders make a lot of money, and that's it. So
right. So while the market is, remember, market's forward looking, we're already at 6.5% because it's in anticipation of the rates dropping in September and continuing to drop throughout 2024 and 2025. And so that's kind of built into it. The more rates drop, the more people are going to come in the market and want to purchase homes. Again, supply and demand. You're going to have more demand, not enough supply. So that probably tells us that home prices will continue to increase. The caveat to the interest rates continuing to drop throughout 2025 is government spending, right? Depending on what happens with the government spending, inflation may rear its ugly head again, and then there may be a pause to the rate cuts. So we'll see what happens with that. But I really don't think that will negatively impact housing. If anything, I think that's going to put even more pressure on housing, because I think if the Fed starts cutting rates and then stops, people are going to go right back to the fear of missing out thing, and they're going to really go all out to purchase homes because they're going to think, oh, well, the Fed's going to maybe raise rates again, and I want to make sure I get a good interest rate. So I think you're going to go back into that cycle. There's nothing on the horizon that would indicate that housing is not going to do well. So if you find the right house, my general advice is get the house and then deal with the interest rate later, providing that you can afford the home at the right time in your life.
if you think interest rates are going to be 4% in 3 years, buy the house today, and in 3 years refi. Because if you don't, you're going to pay $100,000, $200,000 more for that same house when interest rates are 4%. Lock in the price today. In 3 years, refi it, and you'll be way better off than you would have been if you waited 3 more years.
Okay. So,
and that is not legal advice or anything else. I'm just telling you what I would do.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Please remember to like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video. If you're thinking of buying or selling anywhere, especially in Las Vegas, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. If you see us out and about, say hello and leave us your real estate related comments. Tell us what's happening in your neck of the woods. Real estate is hyper local, so we are always interested in what's happening wherever you guys are watching from. We know people are watching from all over the U.S. and lots of places outside the U.S. So we are interested in finding out where you're watching from and what's going on. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.